familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Huh? Me? Just hanging around.
What's going on, TubeU? Welcome back to the Plot Coalition YouTube channel. Let me turn down the music a little bit. It's a little bit cranking. Welcome, everybody. We're going to be going through today. I want to show some stuff, talk about some stuff, work on some stuff. Not for too long, because I've had quite a long day today, but I want to be consistent with these streams. As far as casting goes, because I can already see some questions rolling in and people chatting about it. What's the deal with casting for episode 2, right? So we finished going through all 659 auditions last night, and we've got it pretty well narrowed down. But now we're working through to what our like top picks are. So we're anticipating that casting will be announced maybe tomorrow, maybe sometime over the weekend. We shall see, because then it's also, once we have our top picks, then we reach out and offer the roles before making a fully public announcement. But good to see you guys. Good to see you. Yeah, we make short work of it. It's we have a pretty good system just to keep things go quick, and that's what the whole show is about, is making things go quick. It's actually going. There's a couple of things that I need to pick my feet up on. I've just been busy with a handful of other things that have also been going on, but it is coming together well, and we're really looking forward to it. Ghosty, thank you so much for the 40. You're a real one. All right, talking about other aspects of the show, I wanted to show you guys. So I'm working on the set right now, which is it's a megacity, and then like the central area is an apartment building, and then a megacity around it that we're working on building out. So I wanted to show that and talk a little bit about what that is all looking like, and then we're going to also go over some of the character models and stuff, and then we'll work on building the environment out a little bit, because I also have to start dropping in like our storyboards. Oh, I also want to show something else pretty cool that I made for myself in Unreal that actually saves a super ton of time. So I'll show that here in a moment. Let me switch over this. All right, so welcome to the Megacity. Right now it's mostly roads and highways, but it hits like kind of the main locations we're going to be at. I'll fill in some of this with just here's like buildings and stuff that we can throw in and whatnot. But once we know like the general area of where is the camera looking for all the shots, then we can just build out the rest of the environment based off of those needs. But I wanted to get like some semblance of roads. I wanted to make some ridiculous roads that made zero sense because I thought it would be funny. But yeah, so it's set up right now for like how it's actually going to be used and where I could realistically see like, oh, you would probably see like, you know, if we have like a vehicle or something moving, you might see this bridge in the background or whatever. So I wanted to give like the world some geometry, and then we just basically build out and drop in buildings where needed and texture stuff, and add more objects where the camera is going to be looking, because that's the big trick here. Is basically build out the fundamentals of what you know you're going to see, and then only really build out the other stuff once you have a good idea of what you're looking all at. So I know, for example, like over here, there's going to be instances of looking this way. Moving forward, I know that like over here, we're going to be going inside. I don't have any lights in here yet, but like we're going to be inside like these big industrial buildings for a couple of scenes. And I'm trying to build this all out so it's all in one central, or like one map. That is the goal. And then we can actually like play and go through the entire film in one location, which would be pretty dope. So I'm also working on building out the interior with these apartments, and we'll probably work on this. Is probably what we're gonna work on here in a little bit, is just what the interior of this is gonna look like based off of the needs of the story. So we're working on that. We're going to be working on drivable vehicles to save on animation, which is something I've done before for Unreal, so it shouldn't be too much. And like even if we get them like most of the way there, and then it's just like, okay, this is working for our needs, then that's all that will need to be. And I'm also working on a horde system for the Illuminate. So if you check out the Darkest Stage channel, or Charlie, I need to make sure I'm getting his YouTube channel name right. The Darkest Age Charlie Unreal. Here we go. This channel right here. This guy, he made a pretty sweet plugin called Overcrowd, which I don't think is on his main channel. But it's basically a way to populate like, oh, here we go. I won't go through too much of it, but this guy, it's a plugin where you can spawn in hundreds of thousands of characters, all with animation, and they can interact and do all this kind of stuff. So we're building out this system for the Illuminate, and he was awesome enough to just send it to us for free, which was super cool. So we're going to be using this to create an Illuminate horde to chase the Helldivers through the city and just be able to have like these massive simulated crowds, which will be pretty epic. But that's the plan there. How hard is it to get into this kind of work? I mean, Unreal Engine's free, Blender's free. I recommend starting there, and then like it's really getting started is the part that a lot of people are intimidated by. I only started doing this. I downloaded Blender and Unreal for the first time in 2021. I think I had tinkered in Blender like way, like a long time ago, like 2013 or something like that, and I didn't like it. But like I only really got started in 3D in 2021, and I'm doing it at what I'm doing right now. What's better, Unreal or Blender or Unity, or are they sort of similar? I mean, I use Unreal Engine. I think Blender is definitely the choice I would go for. I feel like Unity, it has some powerful tools, but it doesn't get enough support, especially like community support. I feel like Unreal and Blender have better community support overall. I can picture a scene where they get frustrated by the megacities. Watch out, there's a Bile Titan. Easy peasy, man. I have an orbital rail cannon. The Super Destroyer just repositioning for like 10 seconds. That would be pretty rough. Has the thought of putting Easter eggs throughout the film crossed y'all's mind? Of course, we're always sticking Easter eggs and stuff in. So just curious, is the episode's writing already all done then? Yep, there's like just a couple of one-liners that we've rewritten like in the last week or so, just because once I kind of like performed it out and timed everything out, it was like, this line isn't quite working. We could use some tweaking. Yes, I would consider myself 100% self-taught my entire career. I didn't go to school for filmmaking or 3D or any of that. I went to the school of YouTube. I grew up on Corridor Digital, Film Riot, and Indie Mogul, and Freddie Wong. So I started in animation. I've done that in middle school. Stopped after I couldn't get a walk cycle down. Hey, and that's okay. I wouldn't consider myself the greatest animator by any means. I use mocap a lot. We use Mixamo animations every once in a while. I use programmed walk cycle animations, and I've done walk cycle animations by hand. It takes time to learn this stuff. All right, I did want to go over showing some of the characters and just like the details that we've gotten here. I've shown it a couple times in posts, but I thought it'd be cool to just showcase in here. Open up one of these. I actually might show you guys the metahuman versions too. They're not like totally cleaned up in the metahuman asset, but the lighting always looks better. Peekaboo. But like we've also updated the material system, so the materials just look like nice and grimy with all these imperfections and texture and stuff. It looks really, really good. I'm really, really happy with how it is on this episode compared to the previous one. And that's because we're using Substrate in Unreal Engine. But you can see like at his smooth head how much detail and stuff is in there because we're using this system that allows us to add fingerprints and scratches and all sorts of imperfections that the light treats differently, and paint chips and stuff. It's super cool, and it's not the same convention as some that we're maybe more regularly familiar with, that are just like pretty straightforward maps and stuff. I'll show off. What's a good one to show off in the metahuman? I mean, I feel like this one always looks pretty good. I'll pop it up and let me turn off the lighting on the main scene. What I like about working in metahuman and having it this way is it also allows you to just preview animation and stuff and kind of see the character moving around, which is super helpful. So if I hit play here, because he's already rigged up, he'll move around and have some animation. It's a good way just to look at things, but the lighting is also it's pretty resource intensive, but it gives you a really good idea of what this is going to look like when it's rendered. And you can see the character in a few different poses and stuff too as needed, but you can just see the amount of detail, the texture and everything. It's all just looking Super, super good. And then like this one, this body ROM, it's good for checking, making sure the fingers are working the way that they're supposed to. And it also helps identify where problems are that I would need to fix. This model's already fixed up from this stage, but this is just a really good way to preview it. And this is all running locally on my computer, which like is so cool that this is where technology is at. I'm very excited by this kind of stuff. And it helps speed up production. Hey, thanks, Payton Games. You wonder what they look like in path tracing? We'll never know. I only render in Lumen. But we'll save that, and I want to show you guys another thing that I've got going on, and then we'll get into building some of the stuff. So essentially, I have this system. I showed it on stream for episode 1. That was initially like super tedious. We'll just call this stream test. Where basically I would go into like I'd have stuff set up, and then I would have to make like subsequences for everything, and having those subsequences and that structure is what made production happen so fast. The problem is every time I set up a shot, I would have to set up all of these subsequences. It would take a super tedious, long amount of time, and then it would be a problem of like making sure all the files and names and stuff is all correct. And it was a huge pain in the butt, but it made production run super smoothly after it. But I was like, how do I take that super tedious, very long part and speed it up? And I have solved that. So I have in here, I'm going to add a shot track, and I'm going to make sure I do this correctly. I believe I have to go in, yes, create new shot track asset, and we'll just leave it named this for now. But then I'll edit track and make the display name HW episode 2 A01. Oh wait, now it's 01. Pretty sure that's the naming convention. If I did it wrong, I'll have to flip it. But basically, I name it something like that, and I have it up. And so this basically gives some information about what the shot and everything is going to be. And so if I go into this, there's nothing in here, right? Well, using Python code, which is what Unreal Engine runs on, I was able to set up a whole new button and a system that builds the folders and all of the subsequences I need with a single button press. So if I just hit this, ta-da! It's got everything in there for me already, and it puts it, I jump down to the sequences. You can see it created all these based off of that, the name of the shot. So I would just name the shot what I need it to be for thing, but then I can just do that over and over and over again, and it makes the process a bajillion times faster. Because to set that all up, to set up all of these sequences and make sure they're in the right folders and the right naming convention, you were talking like 3 to 4 minutes per shot in the film, and now it's just a couple of seconds. So that's another really exciting part of all this. I can actually just leave that because those aren't going to be used, but that's the general idea, and it names them all correctly and everything. So then also when I go to render, I can just go into my render queue and type in the word master and just rip everything with the same settings. So that is something I spent a good chunk of time figuring out how to get set up, but it's going to save time across the entire show. So pretty exciting. Okay, let's get into building some stuff out. I'm probably going to move back into that apartment setting just because I got to finish building that out specifically. But we also have like other buildings. I have like this construction site pack and stuff that will just help, like, you know, build things out fast, but also just like looking really good. So like, for example, if I wanted to drop, the thing with some of these is they take a while to like assemble in Unreal. So like if I drag one of these out, this is why we're not going to focus on this part of it as much here, because every time I drag out one of these buildings or something, it has to construct it, because this Unreal project hasn't accessed these files yet. So it usually takes it a minute to load it up, to set up all the textures and stuff, just because it's fetching it from where it is in this pack. But this is also like, this is using Kitbash 3D, which they're incredible. If you haven't been to Kitbash 3D, I highly recommend checking them out. They have really high quality modular assets, which is super cool. They hold up pretty decently in close-ups, but they are phenomenal for like background assets that feel like they have a super ton of detail, and you can, you know, detail them up and add anything more you need to them. But it's just a really good way to get stuff in there nice and quickly, and have entire things built out. So that's also what the highways are made from, this apartment building, all this stuff over here for this utility building. This is all Kitbash 3D assets. So I've been buying from them basically like since I started in 3D, and they just have great packs for that can get stuff started and fill in the background super fast. Do you limit how much time you work on something in a single day? It kind of depends. I've been trying to put more limits and restrictions on myself, especially now that like episode 1 is out and everything. But like obviously like this is also what I look forward to at the end of the day. Like I desperately want to be working on this kind of stuff. But yeah, there we go. Now we have like a whole building in here. All it was a quick drag from this asset pack. I could customize it if we need to, but that's just a really good way to get a lot of really fast detail. And especially with the way that this episode is going to be set up, is once I know where the cameras and stuff are going to be, it's going to be extra helpful. I do need to clean this up a little bit, but if I know this is going to be like at nighttime, then I can view it at nighttime. I'll be setting up lighting and everything for it as well. But there's also just like a lot more you can hide in the shadowy bits that you can't get away with, you know, at any other time of day. But yeah, it's looking pretty swell. Yeah, let's say I wanted to put the moon over there. Let it rebuild everything real fast. And there we go. We can have a nighttime scene and set up, you know, however we need. But I'm going to switch this back to daytime. No, that would be 1300. But yeah, no, it's super cool, and I'm really excited to like continue pushing on stuff. You should make an E710 gas station. Have you guys looked over all the auditions yet, or are we still cooking? We've gone through all the auditions, and so now we're just narrowing it down to our top ones. I asked this before, then got distracted, so I don't know if you answered it yet, but is it going to be similar to Ready or Not QCB Combat? and such. Can't say that I've seen Ready or Not. It's a mixture of a few things. I don't want to spoil too much. But you know what I do want to do is get to building. We'll finish out this apartment interior, and then I'll honestly probably go to bed because it's been quite a long day for me. But I wanted to get some stuff done, show you guys some stuff. And yeah. There are some of these that I'll probably have some, well, at least like put walls, like dividers in. I doubt we'll build out like every single apartment, because it's kind of like, I don't know if anybody was into like doing stop motion Lego movies, but like I remember when I would do them, I'd build like just like one side of a building or like the face of a building to like do a street or whatever. My little Lego animations, and that's basically what this is here. Which I also don't really need this wall to be specifically like the outside of the building the way it is right now. I can have it be this right here, and I'm building it out this way so that it is just a little bit easier to work with, because I can also just duplicate this straight down too. How did you choose the setting for the Megacity? Like, why the rundown look? So it's specifically this rundown look for at least this apartment. This episode, like a lot of the style inspiration is from the 2012 Dread movie, which I just found out only cost, it had a $45 million budget, which how like Hollywood would never do that today. But they'd be like, nah man, you're not spending enough money on it. But it's a good movie, but like that's like the main draw of inspiration for this one. We'll do this. We'll probably add like a door or something so it doesn't look so so strange. But I'm building this out specifically inside the apartment building just so like geographically I know where it's coming from. But once again, it's also to like have this be in the actual one location as much as possible. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, how much creative liberty are you taking for this series? I mean, I suppose quite a bit. We're making sure it stays in universe for sure. I'd say we're taking some decent creative liberties. 2009 is that one with the psychic later. It was 2012, but yeah. The apartment, the hallways are large. It's because of the scene that I know is going to be in it. And we can actually drop some of the walls in real quick just to divide them up. Oh, it looks like this one got a little extra space. So what I might do, we'll shrink it down to the roughly the size. And then we'll just duplicate it on the other side. And then, like, as I need things for the specific story, I can build them out more. But yeah, if we just start duplicating these out. That one didn't pull the bottom part. I forgot to grab it. These are just cubes that I set up. So they're nothing crazy to set up. But we can at least you know, have that general shape. Then yeah, let's make sure we get a floor built. I do need to desperately like go in and make sure that everything is cleaned up. And that's a pretty small apartment. That's like what that's like a 300 square foot apartment. I feel like that's pretty pretty true to the vibe. We've missed another one. Cool. Did you know that the Illuminate is a level 1.8 civilization? Super Earth is a 1.5 and the automatons are a 1.1. The bugs a 0.5. I didn't know it broke down that granular. Oh, look, these people over here, these are actually the people living in luxury. Look how much they get like another you want to be on the east wall. That's where the real ballers live. That's where the high-end poors are at. And we'll duplicate this over. There we go. Yeah, the hallways are definitely a little bit wider, but it helps with the scenes that we have set in here. So I think it'll be good. And then need to add some stairs. Oh, and we need to extend these walls down. I forgot to grab the floor part of them too. We'll extend those down and just scale them up. We'll just have it go all the way across so it blocks out outside light. So when we're doing the cinematography, we can have a bit more control over that. And so then we got to add stairs there. Probably like a little railing thing here. I'll feel good. No, I mean classifications themselves. I don't recognize them from anywhere. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Hey, Plot Coalition. Why don't you use the world align textures? I noticed that the wall texture is squished a little when you stretched it. Yeah, I could. I actually have a plugin called Easy Mapper from William Fauché, which is good. Which I could set up. The main reason I did this is because I wanted to quickly sample the same thing that was used on the entire apartment wall. If it becomes like super noticeable, I'll adjust it or swap it out for something else. I'm starting to get a headache here. But generally speaking, I'm like, does it serve the purpose? I know that like the actual texture of the apartment isn't gonna matter as much as like the scene and the stuff going on within it. So I'm less worried about like being super on top of it. That's something that I can get away with. Being a guy on YouTube is like I can get it to where it's like, does this look good on camera? Do you even see it? And it's like, if I see something in the background, I'm like, that really needs this to polish it up, then I'll add it. But if I'm not gonna see it, or I generally know that like in the shot space, it's not gonna mind, or it's not gonna be as much of an issue, that I'm like, nah, that's just not worth my time. Okay, I'm gonna look for. So there's a fire escape, and then there are these like industrial stairs, which I don't think are right for this. But I could also sort by static mesh. That definitely gives me some more options. Possibly more appropriate for what we're building. When do you find time to dive? Every once in a while. I don't dive as much as I'd like to, but I also like a lot of times that I would spend diving, I'd rather be working on the show and then dive when I feel like I can do so and just chillax. I noticed the windows on the exterior of the hotel don't match the rooms. Do you plan a fix for it? Yeah, the fix is that the windows aren't there at all. The fix will be I'll stretch a ceiling over this entire part, and you won't even see anything of the exterior of the building, honestly. It's gonna end up being pretty obscured. I'm gonna pull out these different stairs just to see what we could be potentially dealing with here. So we're gonna have these some double wide stairs. Got these concrete stairs. These different variations of that. Those are very wet stairs. We also have these curved stairs. Do your stairs wind? Oh, this is like actually kind of perfect. By the way, now that I know how to ping on here, Oh, you're talking to that guy. See ya, money. These stairs feel a little bit thin, though. I got a room full of stairs. They're definitely thin. I think for what the shot requires, they're a little out of place. These are definitely like back. Whoa, those are kind of gnarly. Them some gnarly stairs right there. That's like a fire escape, which we might, you know, set up later. I know I have a few of these from the capacity pack. Honestly, I feel like these or these are doing the vibe. Yeah, because like even these are a little bit too industrial for what I'm thinking. I'd hate them to step on one of those stairs. Yeah, exactly. No, the stairs, because I also know specifically they're like in a shot where like the camera will be like over here and panning up as they're going up them, and that's literally it. So I don't need them to be anything crazy. Like I literally need them to look good from this angle, and that'll be it. So I think these are gonna be our winner. Just take both of those and duplicate it down. And perhaps one more time. Heck, we could even leave this block here behind it still. Have that be the general support. Yeah, but see from this angle where it's just like going up and they're stepping up on, does the job. That's all I need it to do. For the one dimly lit shot it'll be in. I don't need it to be much more than that. Again, that's the being a YouTuber. You know, I don't have to be like, oh, like, you know, I'm paying an environment artist for all this time. It's like, no, I am the environment artist right now. I actually don't think I've had anybody ever do environment art for other films. I think they've all been me. They've either been me or I've gotten like a pack online. There we go. Like I said, for the one shot of them going up the stairs. Perfect. Alright, let's delete these other stairs. Because these are not going to be necessary. Okay, we'll do both, and we'll do flower. Or maybe barbed wire. There we go. This is a blueprint. So I could always swap out. A couple of those. But again, it'll kind of depend on if it's going to be in the shot much. Exactly. Camera angles are key. Looks a little bit too high tech, but we'll see how much the dim lighting saves it. For now, it's workable. I don't like how much this is flickering here. Oop. Okay. And we'll do maybe railing. See if I got any upscale hotel railing. Oh, this must be from the futuristic pack. If I just type in rail, yeah, that gives me some more options. Oh yeah. We got some uglier rails up in here. Some appropriately ugly rails. Probably turn snapping back on. You know what? I'll just boop. What size do these need to be? Once again, will it work for the half a second it's on screen? If the answer is yes, then I'm a roll with it. Who cares if it's totally proportionate or not? It works for my needs. And then, all right. So that's that. General shape, maybe. Goodness me. I have a lot of street lamps. Thank you. That's too many lights. We'll delete like 2 of them. I can also do, are these, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I go where this is. Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh, these are like little thin ones. Little thin guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make VP apartment lamp. I'm gonna delete these for a minute. And I'm gonna add this in. So it's there, and then I'm gonna add a rectangular light. This is what we're gonna do. Make it slightly blue. We'll make it roughly the same size as the lamp. We'll close the barn door angle, maybe shorten it up a little bit. And we'll only make the attenuation radius like 500. But then we can pull this instead. We can dial in some quick settings, like turning this down to like 1. That's off, so maybe 0.5. And then we set this emissive to like 1. Feels pretty alright. And then I'm gonna make this a duplicate and call it single. But then I'll go with this at all. There we go. And now we just have this blueprint that we can duplicate. And it carries all three lights at the same spaced distance. So I could also throw them on back walls. I could throw them up above the apartments. And or on the ceiling once we add that. And say, well, why don't we add a ceiling and then... What a light said flicker, I could definitely program that in. That could be a part of it. Faux show. We're actually gonna flip these ones around. Because that one's pretty flush. But so then, you know, let's say I just wanted to take a wall piece. Maybe just looking for something that would feel a little bit more muted for the ceiling. That feels pretty dark and dank. Which, like, it's a little, the texture on it's a little heavy. If we just slide this over, now we can see absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's a little bit too stretched for my liking, but I don't know if I want to do a single row or double rows. Just add a singular one down here. kind of get the idea of where this is headed. And I feel like where it's at, we should probably do 2 rows. And I can adjust some parameters and stuff more later, but gives a pretty decent idea of what we're looking at. Now let's what seems to be taxing the most right now is the emissive color of the lamp. I think is just a bit much on the engine right now. So I think if we lower that, and then we take the rect light, and we'll just drop it down to 0.25. That should chill the engine out. Yeah, there's definitely still some noise, some flicker, but it's not as rough. And it gives a little bit of this darker look that we can have more control over. We can also see, just for testing purposes, if we bring a character in here, how do they look? Pretty good. And then they would get their own lighting, you know, per shot that they need as well. I think honestly the thing that's throwing me the most is the brightness of this, and I wonder if we just bring that down and make it slightly more blue. And then we can adjust things as needed and, you know, add in whatever else that, you know, we want. For example, like if I wanted to highlight the stairs, and this is all stuff that like I dial in more with like cinematography. But, you know, we want to make sure that that could be nice and seen as they step up towards here for the first time. Bring in this big light, turn up the attenuation radius, and then turn the actual brightness of it way down. But you can see that already brings a lot more nice ambient light to it. And this is all within our same set, so it's actually like broad daylight outside. But when we go to this scene in here, completely different vibe. Which I might make this its own like localized space for lighting. I'm not 100% sure yet. But that's feeling pretty good, at least to start. Maybe I'll add like just a couple more of these lights down the hall just to give it some more ambient fill. We'll reset the rotation. Turn it down 90 degrees. Make it a lot longer than it is wide. Radius to the corner of that. Maybe we won't make it quite this wide. Maybe we'll make it like 1500, so it's hitting less of an area. And maybe we'll make it more blue. So it just has an eerier quality to it. Which again, I don't need this to be perfect right now. It's gonna be, as I'm setting up the cameras and everything, it'll be start to tell like, okay, what else do we need to add or subtract to make this like really work. But I feel like this is a good starter for this corridor. You know, once we get cameras and stuff in here. I'm also debating testing some stuff out with how it would look instead of doing like the out of focus blurry background. If I did a watercolor effect with it instead. So like everything I think still has the same level of detail and all that. Still looks like hyper real, but I am wondering about that for this episode specifically. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. It might be too much production work, but it could be cool. Something cool to catch up with. Hey Parker Gold, finally able to catch one of these lives. Set piece is looking real nice so far. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I can probably delete this character. This is just a size reference. But yeah, I mean, like for this general area, what I need this scene to be, this so far, I'm pretty happy with. I might honestly change out this texture back out for something a little bit brighter now. Just because I feel like it's now like too dark and it's not catching enough light. How much did changing that color affect the outside of the building? Not too much. All right. So that's feeling pretty good there. This is going to be all at night. I suppose one other thing I can check real quick. Oh goodness, there's something in my eye. You came back and it looks much better. Yeah, it changes on a dime pretty quick. Again, I need to organize this like crazy. Let's see. Let's set it to midnight. I'm gonna change if I do the uncheck apply auto exposure and I put in a post process. So this is a bug I've been noticing in Unreal recently. Where if I do this, it'll just change everything to black. And I'm not sure why it does that. There you go, now it's slowly coming back. There's another way that I've seen people affect it before where they set like the min and max to be like but again it just like completely eats it. I'm not sure why this happens because it's not supposed to. I have noticed it's a bug in the most recent versions, but I wonder if I just set it to a much lower number here. dark does it get in the... Yeah, so this gets pretty dark, so I'll probably play with the lighting a whole lot more. If this is going to be like the general darkness of the outside. It'll probably be a little bit brighter. We'll go -7. But yeah, I need to figure out why it's doing that because it's not supposed to. But that's fine for now. We can also just like adjust stuff like how much fog do we want there to be. Cloud coverage is always a good like make it more moody. Yeah, once again, still just a lot to eventually play around with. We'll set this back to regular time of day. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be... it'd be cool if there's a rundown vending machine in the hallway. Give it more personality. I mean, I can add one of the... game vending machines in the corner over here. There you go. Buy your Freedom Froyo. And your Freedom Froyo Orange. That gives some nice neon color to the corner. This is a bit bright. Does this material not have parameters for emissive strength? We'll set that to like 1. Same thing with this guy over here. Set it to 1. Yeah, it gives some nice mood. And again, once I drop in more lights and stuff, just to get things nicely lit and all that, it'll also really tie it together. But for now, this is like the general idea of the interior, which I think is looking and feeling pretty good. And then as I need like each space, I can build it out. But yeah, then like, you know, from here, the general idea will be, you know, now that we have the block out of that apartment, I can do like I can start actually dropping in cameras. I can build out like the film as bare bones as possible, so we can jump in and start animating it. But with the new system that I built out, basically turning that whole thing into a one-click solution, that's going to make that go blazing fast. So can you show us the other areas? I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's like this electrical plant area. That again is just a lot of those assets that I know it's going to be like, move forward this way. And then go into, you know, whichever area we need to jump into. I don't think there's any. Yeah, there's nothing in these guys. And there's a couple other like small sets that I'll probably just like hide underneath a building or something, just to keep all the sets in one place, especially since some of them are like really, really basic and don't need a ton. It's me and a couple of people who are going through auditions just to make sure that we can get through them in a timely manner. So those announcements should be coming pretty soon. But yeah, from here, gonna get the film blocked out, figure out where we're looking at any given moment. I'll drop in more buildings and stuff. I have like an ocean plugin that looks really good that'll go in here too, for where the bridges are. So everything's feeling pretty good. We also have the Illuminate. Maybe I'll show the Illuminate and then I'll end stream because I'm pretty sleepy. I'm pretty tired, guys. I want to go to bed. But I'll pull this up as like the last thing. Here are the Illuminate models. Some of them have some broken textures, but that's okay. And then same as like anything else, I feel like some of these I might bake out higher quality textures because these are using the ported shader, which works from like, you know, from this distance. I think it totally works. If we need like super close-ups though, like it definitely falls apart. So I might bake out higher quality textures and put them into our new substrate system. But I think for the vast majority of things, this will work, especially for like doing the horde system. I'd rather keep them in here and just have them be like all instanced from these lower quality models and then do high quality textures if we need them. These guys are a pain in the butt to animate, I can tell you that. There we got the flesh mob. So, looking pretty cool. I am very sleepy, so I'm going to go to bed. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Thank you for hanging out. If you want to become a member and support, that'd be wonderful. But if you're just here to hang out and just view, or you can't afford it or anything like that, hey, I am just happy to have you here. All right, that is all I got for today, and we'll be seeing you. I'm gonna put you guys away now, so you have a good night. You can listen to my voice while you go to bed. You can be like, it's bedtime. It's bedtime and I'm going to sleep. Now it's time to get some rest. Wow. I hope everybody sleeps tight. Don't forget a warm glass of milk and a forehead kiss. Mwah. All right, everybody. Now it's time to go to sleep. I hope you had a wonderful time on stream, and we'll be seeing you later. I'm going to slowly fade into the background while you take your nap. Go ahead now. It's okay to go to sleep. That is, if you want to be remembered as a coward, you should go dive. Dive for Super Earth. But if you need to go to sleep, if you're busy tomorrow, if you're working or you have exams or something, maybe go to bed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as the models go, I had somebody pull these models for me. I don't know if he's going to release them or not. I suppose that's up to him. Okay, guys. You have a wonderful night. And we'll be seeing you later. Okay. Good night, all. Good night.